You are watching Morning Musings with Reinhard von Hennigs, chairman and founder of Bridge House Law in Charlotte, North Carolina.
What do you do if your flight is delayed? Hello, this is Reinhard von Hennigs. Would you drink an Aperol Spritz? Well, why am I asking this question? Let's start with basics. Aperol Spritz is a popular cocktail which is from Italy, especially from the northern region of Veneto, and in the early 20th century, so about 100 years ago, it was created. It's made with Aperol, an Italian aperitif made from bitter orange, rhubarb, and other ingredients, maybe they're even secret, as well as Prosecco and soda water. It is typically served over ice with a slice of orange. The popularity of Aperol Spritz has increased over the last years. Almost no bar is available where you cannot get one. Particularly in Europe, it is a drink of the fashion. The cocktail has a bright orange color, is refreshing in taste, and the low alcohol content have made it popular as a choice on social occasions, such as brunches, outdoor gatherings, summer parties, and you name it. It has also been featured in many advertisings and numerous social media posts. The Aperol brand, which is owned by the Italian spirits company Campari, has also played a significant role in promoting the cocktail through its marketing campaigns, sponsorships, event parties, and festivals. However, it's noteworthy to talk about that Aperol is not a new cocktail. It has been around for over 100 years, but now there is a surge in popularity. But wait, what does this have to do with flights? Apparently, plaintiffs in a case from Germany felt the need to cheer themselves up with alcohol. They had booked a flight from Hanover via London to Miami and the return flight from Miami via New York and then London to Hanover. The outbound flight started with the problems. The plaintiffs only reached the destinations with a delay of more than 3 hours, and the return flight was cancelled. So now what? The travelers were then given alternative transportation from Miami to Madrid, then to Hamburg, and from there they had to be in, do you believe it, in a train. So they got there 4.5 hours late. Is the law in their favor? What does the law say here? The European Union regulation clarifies that flights out of the European Union, flight disruptions, delays, cancellations, denied boarding, and you name it, are subject to a compensation. The regulation applies for flights departing from EU airports, as well as flights arriving in the EU from outside of the EU, which are operated by EU airlines. In case of the flight delay of over 4 hours, the flights have several rights. Number 1, assistance. Passengers are entitled to receive assistance from the airline, which includes access to food and drink. That's noteworthy, food and drink. I'll talk about that a little bit later. As well as communication facilities and accommodation, hotels, if necessary. Number 2, reimbursement or rerouting. Passengers can choose if they want to get a refund or they're being rerouted to the final destination as soon as possible or the next day if it is convenient. And number 3, passengers are entitled for compensation. Compensation from the airline depending on the length of delay, distance traveled, and the compensation can range from as low as 250 euros to up to 600 euros per passenger. Is it per passenger and flight? So maybe the plaintiffs here in this case may have been entitled to 1,200 maximum per passenger. The airline always has a problem when you claim any rights. So the regulation, of course, excludes all the natural circumstances, all the extraordinary situations which are outside of the airline's control, severe weather, air traffic control strikes. In such cases, the airline is not required to provide compensation, but still must provide assistance to the passengers. So back to the question, what about the Aperol Spritz? Is Aperol Spritz covered as a part of the food and drink package. The assistance required under the European Union law is for flights over 4-hour delays. But there is no specific mention of alcoholic beverages. So what does it mean? Alcoholic beverages are only part of the equation if it is reasonable. So would a reasonable passenger have a drink? Is the reasonable passenger allowed to have a drink in the home country? Is the reasonable passenger allowed to drink on the country where he takes the drink? So let's look into the situation in Germany. How is it in Germany? The court in this case decided in Hanover whether or not the costs for 2 Aperol Spritz are covered. Apparently, the plaintiffs felt the need to cheer themselves up with alcohol, and with the one-way cancellation and the return cancellation as well, they felt it is time to party. Well, maybe for food and drinks. The plaintiffs asserted claims for compensation, for damages and reimbursement of meal costs during the stopover in Madrid and London because of all the delays. And there are a couple of hundreds of euros being claimed, including 2 Aperol Spritz. They were paid in London at the price of £15, which is about 17 euros, or let's say maybe $18 at the time. And the court in Hanover said no to alcohol. This leads to the question, is this a no to alcohol in general, or is it a no to Aperol Spritz? Would the court have decided differently if the claim was for compensation for beer? We all know that beer is affectionately known as liquid bread in Germany. I wish you safe travels.
Whether you're a private citizen, an international business leader, or simply someone eager to stay on top of the latest news, this book is a great way to get caught up on the most recent developments in the worlds of international business, tax, politics, and social affairs. Go to morningmusings.com and order your copy today.
Thank you for joining us today. If you would like more information about British House Law, please visit our website at bridgehouse.law. Before you go, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more up-to-date content. Bridge House Law, business-minded, client-focused.